So here's what I've attempted to do. I've attempted to recreate the dungeon that is contained inside the Dungeons & Dragons Basic Set from 1977. This seems to have been nicknamed the Holmes Dungeon. Here's the entrance of the Holmes Dungeon. This is the first dungeon that I walked through that I did in Dungeons & Dragons back in 1979. And I wanted to do a representation of it here someplace. I happened to do it in Minecraft. I will attempt to do the walkthrough in as many single shots as I can versus taking a bunch of edits and splicing them together. But let's see how this goes. And this is the entrance. And it is a 30 to 40 foot corridor which goes down into this entrance area here, which is the first corridor that a group of adventurers would run into. And the dungeon is situated like this. This is the north. This is west, and this is to the south. When I first came into this dungeon, I walked into the south here, and this room, as you can see, there is a skeleton over there. This room is filled with 4 skeletons in each of these niches, and some dust on the floor. The skeletons would attack if you entered the room within 10 feet. They would come out of the niches, and the idea was you could turn them as a cleric or fight them off. This is in creative mode, so nothing is going to attack. It's meant to be more of just a walkthrough. If somebody wanted to see, if somebody had infravision, they could see this room more like they would if I were to place torches around. So, or if somebody had torches, they may be able to do something like this and see the room in its full content with some spider webs and skeletons. There's supposed to be 4, but anyway, that's what it looks like. So now back to the entrance where we'd walk down here. Ooh, there's a wandering monster. Looks like one of the skeletons that creeped out of the room there, room B down there. So here to the west, if we were to go through this door instead, it would end up looking like this. Ooh, this room is supposed to be empty, but we've got some wandering monsters in here, a creeper and some other things. So inside this room is what is known as room A. And room A is the biggest room in the dungeon, and it is home to some goblins that wear leather armor. They also have swords and daggers. They have chests under their beds. I had to place them on the side. The chests are filled with a certain amount of goodies, and there is, I think, some copper pieces laying around. There's a potion laying around in this room someplace. Tables where they eat and hang out. And their beds. So before we go deeper into the dungeon, I wanted to go back towards this direction. And let's close that door off. Close this door off. Let's place a torch here on the wall. So if we were to head up here to the north, here's what we would find. There's a door there to the east, a door there to the west leading someplace, or we could just continue going north. As we turn this corner, ooh, we see a wandering monster. There's a skeleton there. And this room here turns over into what's known as room P. Inside room P, what it's got is a couple of crypts And there's supposed to be some ghouls in here. I suppose this little guy could be a ghoul. And it looks like some other things have wandered or creeped around in here. And I think there might be some treasure found in some of these crypts. And over here, this door becomes a dead end into a small dirt cave or room. And the idea is the cemetery, which is partly where this dungeon has been dug out, is right above here. So now we can travel through this door back here. And this was actually the door that we saw when we entered. Oh, there's a nice bat. When we came down these stairs, that was where we first came down to enter. Ooh, skeletons scared me. And this door connects over there to room P. This is the one we just walked through with the crypts. So again, before we go deeper in that direction, let's continue through this door over here. And again, this room is now filled with more crypts, more skeletons. I think there's supposed to be 10 here. Sarcophagi, that's what they call them in the manual. And this room is also an enormous room, similar to room A, which is to the south of this. And the idea here is there are rat tunnels over here that you could go through. And, ooh, gosh, that's a creepy looking guy. And going through the rat tunnels, now I did not build them out exactly as they're supposed to be, but I did build them somewhat to add the, ooh, there's a guy, sheesh, spooky little guys. I did build them out a little bit so that you could get a feel for what these rat tunnels might look like, perhaps filled with rats or whatever else might be creeping around in here. And then there's an exit over here, which would lead to wherever rats would come from, I suppose. And let's see if we can get back to the dungeon, if I can figure out which way I came. Yeah, here we go. This is back into what's called room N. Now, I'm going to go through this door here to the west, and what's through this door here is a corridor to the right. Let's add a little bit of light here so we can see what's going on. There's a corridor to the right, which has one of the exits of the rat tunnel here. And it also just ends. Perhaps the idea is the magic user of this, who's built this cavern, has been working on digging this out, but hasn't quite gotten to that section yet. So let's travel down here to the south in the map. Let's see where this ends up leading us. So this is room J. Inside room J, it's filled with cobwebs. And hiding up here in a 40 or 50 foot ceiling, there's a spider that's ready to jump on the party. And if the spider gets the first attack, gets an immediate attack after, so says the literature in the basic set. So down here to the south of this room here, if adventurers are successful to make it out, is, ooh, there's that spider hanging out in this room. This is supposed to be an empty room, but it looks like lots of wandering monsters have creeped around in here. This room is supposed to be empty. Let's add some light. I think it's not supposed to necessarily look so rough, but I thought it'd be an interesting touch if I left it like this. Ah, and there's a perfect example of a spider ready to pounce on an unsuspecting group. So I don't want to go too much deeper yet, so let's walk over through here and go back into room A. So this was the door for room A. It's off to the west here, and it's the room I did not want to go deeper into at the moment, so that we could have gone back to the entrance. Now, beyond room, again, this is where we came down, and this is room B, where the 4 skeletons are in the niches over here. Hello, hello. And down here to the south of this room is what I would consider, I suppose, let's put a light in here. This is supposed to be an empty room as well. This is what I suppose is the whole point of coming into this dungeon. This is supposed to have the magic user in it and his fighter. And in this example, it looks like they've ended up creeping out. So let me add them back real quick. There's the wizard, and there's his villager fighter. The villager fighter is supposed to be just a neutral guy, but he is under the spell of this wizard. This is the wizard who has created this dungeon, taken it over, kinda, and he's got a tower. There's a secret entrance just behind him. I'll open that in a moment. And he's got a wand, or potions, I forget, but he's got a wand that can turn people into statues, and that's what these 3 represent, some stone statues that he's created. So let's go to the secret room that this evil wizard has, who of course I'm sure would attack or run from you. So back behind him, there he is watching us, is this secret entrance, secret door. And this secret door ends up going into the tower. This is the basement floor of the tower here. And we can go up to the next level, which is the same shape, but there's not much in it. But up here is the continuation of the study for this wizard. And his name is Xenopus. I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation, but that's the way I always said it. And this contains potions and scrolls and all the magic books that he's got. These are the windows that the story says the villagers are able to see creepy green lights or dancing ghouls or goblins at night before they sent a catapult to this. Inside here there's an ape. He's presumably doing experimentations on the ape. I didn't put one in there, but if the adventurers end up releasing the ape, he will attack or just run out and run away. So that's the tower, which I'll show you from the outside in a moment, or at least after this is sort of over with. In this direction here was one of the also interesting rooms where this statue here was it will point to the door, whichever you open, and then whichever door you try to open, for example, there's one over here, it will not open. It's under a magic lock, but if the adventure party is smart enough, they learn that this is on a swivel, and you can turn the statue to any direction that you want, and whichever direction the statue faces, they can use the door, and it will open. Through here, ooh, more wandering monsters creeping around. This door goes back to room A, and there's a bat hanging down by the door. And let's go down here for a moment. I think I missed one of the rooms real quick. We'll do that by going through the south door here of the tower. We'll go that direction later. Let's add a torch. And I'm going to go back through this over here. This is an empty room. This room is just south of the wizard's study here. This is the room that the wizard hangs out in, and he's turned those people into stone with his wand. Over here is a passage that, let's add some lights, I guess. Passage that leads to a room. It's full of rubbish and just junk and stuff. It's a gloomy room, I think it says, and this room has rats and treasure if the party is willing enough to dig through it. And I'm not going to add a light since I want it to remain a little gloomy and creepy looking. So we'll end up heading back this direction here. And creepy guy scared me. Let's go through this door here now. And this ends up having a couple of rooms. Both end up being empty, pretty simple rooms. I suppose. Whoa. Gosh, what is that noise? It's scaring me. Whoa. Must be this zombie or ghoul trying to open that door. Ugh. There's another small room here, empty. I'm not sure what the idea was or the story is. Ooh, what are they doing? Alright, so back here. Ooh. There's something around here. Back here to this room with the statue. And we'll end up going west over here and end up opening this room. Now this room I always thought was pretty cool, an underground river with inside of a dungeon, which always added a little interest for me. I am going to get through the water without a problem the first time because I want to go down into this room here. Oh, the room we're in here is called room H. The room over here now is called room I. And this room has a sundial in the middle, represented by this sunflower, since I couldn't find a sundial in Minecraft. And it's got this little sign over here by this statue. And the sign says, "I'll answer questions, one no more, I never speak until it before." And the idea is that the adventure group is supposed to shine a light on this sundial until it shows the number 4, and you ask a question, and any reasonable answer from the dungeon master is answered properly. Now let's go back to room H. One of the things it talks about is if you fall in this water and you have armor on, you're of course going to get swept down into this room here, which ends up being room K. And this room is presumably filled with all sorts of goodies from other people who have fallen into the water, or perhaps just wherever this river ends up flowing from, and things are just deposited over here. And if you continue in the river, which I'm not going to do because I'm going to stay up here in, oops. And we're going to go off here into room L. And again, this is a continuation of the river and just part of the dungeon here. As you can see over here to the east, it ends up connecting to the other side of room I, which has the sundial in the middle. And after room L, we're going to end up going to, it's really the end of this dungeon, and this is the place where all the pirates come, and they leave their boats, and there's a chance that more pirates come every few turns when you're here. Inside these house treasure. Also part of the storyline is that there's been a kidnapping of someone from a rich family from the village, and if you rescue her, the idea is that you can get a reward, I suppose. And there's stats on her and what else is in this room on page 43. And, you know, let's see, her name is Lamunda the Lovely. There's some stats on her. She has high charisma. She has fairly high intelligence, low strength, or average strength, I guess. And that is, oh, let me go off to the north over here. This is supposed to be a huge room. The whole thing. It leads off to the sea. I'll go out there in a minute. I want to show you the sheer size of how huge this place, how huge these dungeons actually become. It's quite fascinating that even a small dungeon on paper can feel so large in Minecraft world. So this corridor here ends up leading up to, this is one of the empty rooms that if you go through here and off to the left, you end up in room H. And if you come, ooh, there's a spider. Always something there to scare me a little bit. And over here is the room J. This, ooh, that must be the spider again that was living up in here, ready to pounce on the unsuspecting adventurers. So back to the sea, back to the pirates. And over here, what we'll do is I'm gonna leave and fly out. Make it a little bit easier to head back. What I've done here is I've created a tall pillar to show you exactly where the entrance of the sea is. And this is the tower. Oops. This is the tower that wizard who has dug out this cavern and basically controls it has done. This is the little, if I can learn how to fly this better. This is his study up here. And we've just flown through it. And the entrance is over here. This is where we came in. And over here in the distance, I don't know if you can see that other tall pillar there, that's the exit of the rat tunnels. So if you take a look at from here to the tower, let's see if I can get a perspective just how large this dungeon actually is. Off there to the distance is where the exit is for the sea, and I just found that remarkable that even a small dungeon on paper is actually quite big, even in the Minecraft world. So that's really all I've got, and thanks for watching.